All right, I need to set the scene really quick. Hello, everybody. Hold on, Blake. So imagine, audience, hello there. Close your eyes with me, unless you're driving, in which case keep your eyes on the road. You are looking at me, AJ Hart, except the visual quality is not as good as normal. It's weird, it's compressed. You see the little squares of the color changes in the back of my room. The camera angle is looking up at me. You're seeing a little bit up my nose, so you can tell that I'm shooting this on a webcam. Hello, everybody. What's up, AJ Nation? I'm just making this video really quick to address some of the words that are being spread about me currently right now. You might have noticed, based on my Twitter account recently, that I've been tweeting and celebrating Bloodborne. And this might throw some of you off because I know over the last couple of years, I've said some pretty not tubular things about the Bloodborne game. And I'm here today to make my formal... Blake, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to apologize. I'm here today.
Can we call this episode AJ's apology video?
Now, when I yelled at Blake, I want to make it clear that was cut out, so you'll notice a small jump cut in this edit. Don't worry about that. My nose is running now that we're post-cut, though. And I am just so sorry to Bloodborne about everything that I said in the past because I've been playing it again and I am almost done with the game. I've been on a full bender this week. It has been taking up all of my free time. I am fighting I am working through the DLC and I am taking on the optional final boss. I am in so deep right now with Bloodborne. And I just want to apologize to Bloodborne for everything that I said that was mean about it over the last 4 years.
If you're making an apology, can I make a complaint? Is the like first 10 minutes of the episode is where we just kind of do whatever. Hello, I'm Blake Ray, and this is my partner AJ Hart, my creative partner, but also sometimes spicy. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that.
I don't think so.
The word partner is kind of like I am so used to...
I like that it is being used as like a life partner thing, but also it does make things more awkward.
Complicate.
That's why I've abandoned calling you my partner and I just call you my co-host.
Yeah, that's the smarter way of doing it. So if you're making an apology about Bloodborne, yeah, it's a great game. It's a fun game. I've never played it before.
It's so good is the thing I'm finding out for the first time now.
But AJ, you playing it and you being happy about playing it makes me angry. You know why? Because 4 months ago, you, myself, and our buddy Andrew were all like on a Soulsborne kick and we were playing Revenant from the Ashes and we were like coming up on the end of the game and we're like, oh man, what's going to be our next Soulsborne game? What's the game we're going to play together? And like, me and Andrew were like, oh, well, let's play fucking Bloodborne because I've never played it and AJ wants to give it another try because he fucking hates that game. And then 6 months go by. I have Bloodborne sitting on my shelf, sitting there, tantalizingly waiting so I can hang out with my best friend and my other really good friend. And I'm fucking hyped. And you know what happened at the top of this week, AJ? I call you, and we're hanging out, and I'm like asking you, hey, AJ, what you doing? He's like, oh, I'm playing Bloodborne. I'm like most of the way through the game. And I'm like, silence on my end of the phone. It is just hate bubbling up in my body. I'm like, bro, we had plans. We had plans to play this game together. I was waiting for you. I was waiting to play this game with my friend. AJ, you and I live in other cities now. We don't have many opportunities to hang out. You have betrayed me.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a week and you get to the 2 bosses that I'm at and we can play it together at these 2 bosses.
No, dude, you go through games like fucking crazy. By the time I catch up...
I'll just sit around and wait. I need you to get to the moon Bloodborne. Presence and also go to the DLC boss.
How about this? You and I, we got to go through Dark Souls 3 together. How about that? Or are you going to play that game without me? You fuck.
Can we just do Elden Ring when that one comes out together?
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Let's play Elden Ring. Smash cut to 6 months from now, me complaining
when
again.
I've crushed Elden Ring all in one go. When I, after playing 2 FromSoft games, am now a master of the whole franchise and can crush that game in one sitting. Watch out, here I go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your lovely, gross, awful video game ideas and turn them into the next AAA titles. I'm one of your hosts,
AJ Hart.
I was like, you know what's so weird is like
you paused really long for that. What was up with that? I said it at the same time as you because you paused so long.
Because I was processing. Because here's the thing, we've given this intro like 123 times at this point, and my brain was like, I could introduce myself and then run off on the intro, and then completely forgot if I said my name or not. Because it's just like my brain goes to the shadow realm for like the 5 seconds that I need to say the intro, and then it comes back to being hyper focused, and then I'm like, oh, I time traveled. I don't know what I said actually.
It's the podcast fugue state.
So because we have some time to spare, why are you enjoying Bloodborne? We do have 4
extra minutes that we can talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Well, that's no, true. I wanted to ask because I trampled over you about me being a not supportive friend of my friend's fun and being jealous.
Yeah, you wanted to take
to
5 minutes out of our intro to drag me for playing a video game without you. Like I'm not allowed to enjoy my own free time.
Well, you're allowed to enjoy your own free time. You just don't make plans and then drop me.
Just don't play the games I want to play. I get it. I see how it is. You don't want me enjoying things. It's fine.
I sat and waited patiently for 6 months for people to get their Bloodborne installed so I can play it with friends. And then I just casually call you being like, hey, AJ, you want to hang out and just like talk on the phone? Because we've been so busy lately. And then I call you up and just, I hear that you're having so much fun on something we were going to do together. And like the amount of just like that crushing feeling I felt of like,
you want to take it from the top? I'll start from the beginning with you. Let's go.
No, the time has passed. We just don't. Just when we get to Elden Ring, we'll play that. But why are you enjoying Bloodborne this time around? Like, what is so different about it for you now? Is it like, are you in a different place in your life where you enjoy the game more?
The biggest thing is that playing Sekiro really taught me a different way to play and enjoy those games. Because like up until playing Bloodborne the last time, I think that I was running into a lot more static of like bashing my head against a wall and not feeling like I'm making any progress whatsoever in a fight. And after playing Sekiro, I'm just learning how to face... Sekiro is a game that was almost entirely you learning how to fight bosses because you do very little actual combat that isn't a boss or a mini boss in that game. Because you can sneak, you have so many stealth tools that you just run around and play Assassin's Creed. And I love that about Sekiro. I love that it is Assassin's Creed until you're fighting an enemy. And then it's Sekiro. But that mental process of like bashing my head against a wall and just learning the specific moves on how to counter an enemy, learning that from Sekiro and then bringing that back with me over to Bloodborne is definitely... changed the way I look at the game and made it a lot more fun. I'm still really on the fence about the way that Bloodborne tells its narratives. I'm gonna be honest, I'm still not really into everything being just vague posted and hinted at. That's kind of frustrating for me. But I do understand what people love about the game, and the atmosphere is so nice. I do like that there's a progression of the game of like, you start off within the clinic and you're fighting a bunch of beasts and just werewolves and really big crows. And then I was just at a castle where I was fighting ghosts and then an old man that was flying in the sky. And I guess he was a vampire?
Yeah.
Or he was guarding the vampire castle because he was keeping them all in vampire jail. It's one of the two. Again, everything's vague posted in Bloodborne. Either he loved Vampire Castle or he hated Vampire Castle. But I know he had something to do with it.
See, the thing that I've always wanted to play Bloodborne because I've always been a fan of like gothic horror, and it also plays on like Lovecraftian themes in a way that's like successful. Because like most of the time when people like, you know, like a prime example, Call of Cthulhu, that one kind of indie game that released a while back, I played it. It was fun, but it was also like, I don't think people know how to make cosmic horror work in a lot of narratives because I think especially Western media tries to explain things in great detail because I think Western media kind of treats their audiences very dumb. But when you have a game that vague posts like that, that's like the perfect, like, where, oh yeah, you can be vague, because cosmic horror is kind of vagueness. It's not, nothing is answerable. You kind of have to put two and two things together. And I think that's why it really works in Bloodborne. The thing that I'm having like such a fucking hassle with in Bloodborne is that the parrying is not intuitive like it is in Sekiro.
I hate the parry system. I will admit
like,
that.
wait, so I gotta shoot the guy
the gun
as he
system
swings?
all the time. There are so many bosses that I walk in and I'm like, don't need this shitty gun, and I'll put it away.
And it's like, it's cool once I get it to work, but it's not like, my brain doesn't put two and two together like in Sekiro, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm fighting with a sword, so that's going to be my attack and defense. When I don't think gun as, oh, I'm going up against somebody with a sword who's swinging at me, I'm going to block him with my gun by shooting him with the gun. It's just like my brain doesn't do that, like, that circuit doesn't trigger for me.
It doesn't
click.
It's like, I will say that I think that Bloodborne does shine at its best when you face bosses that do make you think about the gun. I think that the fight that you're stuck on, Gascoigne, is one of
Father
those
G.
fights. Because you use the gun, and then he's going to digivolve. And when he digivolves, the gun's useless. Now the gun is a hindrance. Put it away.
Well, okay. So we just passed 10-minute mark. We should get into talking about video games. You want me to give you a video game, or do you want to do a video game?
That's right. We make bad video games from our audience. How about you start me off this week?
Sure, yeah. All right. This one comes to us on Twitter from Blue Bowser's Stan account at Koopa Kirby. Santa Claus plus Deathloop. You must deliver presents to every child in one real-time night. But if you don't perfectly execute the run, the night loops over, and you must do it again. This is how Santa is able to deliver presents every year without being noticed. So this is a combination
You think
of like...
he's Groundhog Day?
This is, I think, is there a loop game that isn't combat-based, but is stealth-based? So
yeah,
imagine
12 minutes and it sucks shit.
Okay, but no, that one has combat, doesn't it?
Check it out. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to our time loop Santa Claus game. You find out at the end that Mrs. Claus is, spoiler.
Is that what happens in Minute? Does something you just find out like the...
Oh, you don't know about 12 minutes horrible spoiler at the end?
Oh, 12 minutes. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Minute, that one Devolver game where you have like a minute to live and you need to like slowly go around the world and explore and shit like that. And I think there's combat
heard of
and
this
shit.
game.
Yeah, it's spelt weird too. I think it's like MINIT. It's like a little indie game where you start the game and you find out you have 60 seconds to live. So you always start in like this house that you have to then walk around and figure out like, okay, what am I going to do with this minute-long run? What am I going to do with this minute-long run? And you just always die. And I don't know what the narrative is. I don't know what like the point of the game is, but I'm trying to do a game that's like, this is a stealth game. So the moment you are caught as Santa, the night is like over. So it's like maybe there's some sort of, oh my God, wait a second. Isn't that like, no, I don't think it, you remember the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen? Like that had like, didn't he have like some magical watch that he was able to use?
I'll be honest, I have not watched the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies.
Missing out. They're pretty funny. They're pretty funny. At least like 10-year-old me liked them. But also the third one had like a rubber like Tim Allen. I don't know if you remember that, but anytime you would
was
move,
that not the second one? I know that in two of them he faces off against people trying to steal the Santa Claus title. One time he fights Jack Frost, and one time he fights Mecha Tim Allen.
Mecha Tim Allen.
Oh man, I really wanged that one up because Tin Allen is right there, huh?
Tin Allen? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Tin Allen.
No,
or Tin Aluminum.
Mecha Allen, I think it hits it. I think that's more funny. So, he had like some watch that that gave him like abilities or something, and that's how he was able to like, or was that? I don't know what my Tim Allen Santa Claus lore is, but is there a way that we can... So let's look at Deathloop. Deathloop, for those that don't know, you're on an island.
It's the Arcane first-person shooter game. You're given all of the tools that Arcane loves to give you: a teleport, a gravity push, a big jump. And you are given 8 different people that you have to hunt down and kill within a single day. And the game time loops over and over again. So in this Santa Claus game, you are given a map of a bunch of different places that you are going to deliver to. But is there a full Skyrim-sized world that you need to hit within a single day?
I think that's the way to do it. So let's dial this back. So I don't know if we can do a game where you have to hit every player in the world, but what if this is like Santa's origin story where like if I remember correctly, like the fable is that it was this one guy living in some German village and he would like give out gifts to all the people in this village. So it's an open world, but it's like a small town stealth game. So you're trying to do this thing where you have like 12 in-game
break into
hours.
Everybody's houses. You have 12 in-game hours to break in, leave a gift, and leave.
Yes, but you find out that like all of Deathloop is you have to do it in a specific order to properly make it. Because like in certain houses you'll find like maybe you'll find a key to somebody else's house. That way you don't have to go through like the security or like the stealth.
It's a town full of burglars filled with people that have plans to break into each other's homes. You break into someone's house and find a way to break into their neighbor's house. Break into their house, you find the key to break into the mayor's house. You have to run over to the mayor's house.
A town of burglars. Okay, that's a fun idea. Do you have another idea? Because
have we considered that perhaps Santa Claus is simply just a celebration on who the best burglar is?
Isn't that? I feel like there's a holiday like that, isn't there? Like people instead
where
of
we just all break into each other's homes.
No.
Yeah, but it's Columbus Day. Hey-o!
Wow, timely, very timely reference. Okay, how about you give me a video game idea? I don't know how much steam we have on this one.
Yeah, let me dig around in my little mystery bag of submissions. This comes from Dr. Peener at Dr_Peener. An aerial combat game in which you play as reindeer fighting each other in the sky to be the top 8 for Santa's sleigh. The story mode will be like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer mixed with Top Gun. Blake, Rhea. This is... I'm sick of people talking about how, I want another Star Fox game. I want another Star Fox game. But they're always talking about how they want another, like, single-player Star Fox game. But me, I'm an intellectual. I want a new dogfighting game that is fun. I want... Because Star Fox 64 specifically had a multiplayer function that I believe you had to beat the game one time to unlock. Or maybe I was just a little kid and didn't know it was there until I beat the game for the first time. But you could play Star Fox against your friends in a four-man free-for-all.
That's cool as shit, actually.
It
Okay.
ruled.
So hold on. What is that one game? There's this game that is out right now. It's like Battleship, like it's like warships or something like that, and it's like some like really highly simulated sort of ship warfare game. And I believe there's
I know the
also
one you're talking about, where everybody's in like a blimp, and you're in 4-man teams on the blimp, and you're running around loading cannons for it and shooting it at each other. Yeah, I don't want that. I want a normal dogfighting game with reindeers.
So, well, no, what I'm saying is like, okay, you have your reindeer, but what if they're... Because, like, isn't the whole point of, like, the reindeers, like, each one of them has their own personality, their own abilities, their own, like Rudolph... Rudolph. Wow, I can't believe I blanked on that. Rudolph has a red nose for some reason. Like, is that to imply that other reindeer have other abilities, and adds the dogfighting? Okay.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand what you are pitching. You are pitching to me a character-based dogfighting game.
Yes. And here's the thing:
I'm so down.
And here's, because every war game needs, like, what are the two sides? What are the factions? We have the reindeer on Santa's side, and that's, like, our good, like, that's the World of Warcraft's, like, good side or whatever the fuck it is. And then you have Krampus's reindeer, which are, like, these fucking nightmarish, deformed, crazy skeleton reindeer that all have their own abilities.
Yes. Hey, I just want to go ahead and go through the reindeer names, because I think you're onto something. I think that each one of these reindeer does kind of lend itself to a character ability a la Overwatch or Valorant. Let me just run through some really quick for you. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer. So those are 3 speed-based characters, of course. Vixen, Comet, Cupid. Those ones are probably DPS.
Okay.
Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph. I'm thinking each reindeer gets those are all good reindeer names. Rudolph, of course, has a laser on his nose.
Okay,
maybe he has like a cool enemy spotted type ability where he can highlight the enemies for all of his teammates. Or no, maybe it's a free for all.
I think you could do like, okay, I'm trying to remember like what happens in a lot of dogfighting games. Is it going to be a thing where, okay, let's kind of mix some Christmas things in here. So it's a dogfighting game, but maybe they are doing some sort of activity where it's like, there's some sort of gift delivering or something happening. Is this like a sports game where they are dogfighting, but they're each trying to push something to some goal, or they're trying to get something getting something somewhere? Also, did you know Krampus's reindeer also have names?
Can you hit me with some Krampus reindeer names?
Oh, I'm gonna butcher these so bad. These are like, please forgive me, and I do not know how to pronounce these. I'll start with the easy ones. Black Peter, Serta, those are the easy ones. Okay. Connect, Ruprecht, Prechten, Schmutzli, Pelsnickel, and Klobbuff. Sorry for offending. I am so sorry. I just wanted to put those out there. But Black Peter is a fucking cool ass name, and it's
Black Peter has a stealth mechanic. He can turn invisible.
Ooh, oh, like a black fighter jet? Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah. So they could turn invisible. Okay, that's rad as shit. I want to put in one little design aesthetic here, though. I want Krampus's reindeer to be like skeletons, because I think I don't know if you've ever seen like skeleton deer, like the deers of skeletons. The skeletons of reindeer, but they're fucking crazy cool. Also, did you know that
I've only seen them in the Nightmare Before Christmas. Are they different than that?
They're similar to that. But did you
skeleton?
Also, did you know? I believe this happens on reindeer as well as just regular deer.
Are you talking about when they shed and their horns bleed?
Yeah, their horns bleed. It's the coolest fucking thing on the planet, dude.
It's really metal.
It's so metal and creepy and fucking awesome. And that's the vibe I want to have for like the Krampus reindeer. Okay, so when you played Star Fox with your friends, like what were the
idea? Sorry, I want to rewind.
Yes.
Now you're proposing the idea of separate win conditions. Let's go back to that really quick.
Oh,
I was imagining this game as just like a normal free-for-all 8-man dogfight. But what if there was a team-based thing? What if we had teams of 8 going against each other? And this also lends us the ability to start adding more reindeer in the future. And kind of like the hit game Killer Queen?
Yes, Killer Queen, where there's different win conditions for all the various. I was just thinking the same thing.
Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know, Killer Queen is a game that Blake and I have referenced on the show before. It is a 5v5 joust-style game with 3 different win conditions. Those win conditions being either the 2 queens joust each other and one of them kills the other one more than, I think, 5 times.
3 times. It's 3 times.
One win condition of collecting a bunch of little purple balls and bringing them back to your base, and one condition of pushing a snail down on the bottom of the screen to the enemy's snail cage. I think that this game would work with 2 different win conditions, and that is, of course, the dogfight, where you just simply killed the other team enough, or sleigh guiding a sleigh to the opposite side of or maybe not even to the opposite, but just to a bunch of different objectives.
Nah, dude, I think we're overthinking it. I think the 2 win conditions are this, and they do vary depending on which team you are on. The shared win condition that isn't dictated by what side you're on is win the dogfight. Destroy like all the other dogfighters in the air.
Ruin their stock,
and score.
absolutely murder them and shoot them and kill them.
The second win condition, which is dictated by what side you choose, is the reindeer each have a gift in their goal zone that they have to deliver to a house that is below this dogfighting battlefield. The opposing Krampus's reindeer has to destroy like the chimneys to where they can't deliver those gifts. So like they have to go around.
Here's
they
what
like
I'm going
they carry
to
like
propose
one
to you.
bomb
I
or
don't
something like
think
that.
it's Krampus versus reindeer, because I want Krampus characters to still be choosable even if you're on the delivery team.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, what if, okay, so maybe then rather than having them have different mechanics, what if they're both trying to do this different thing? They're both dogfighting, but each side is trying to drop their own gift.
Deliveries. Yeah.
Yes, their own gifts. So, like, the Krampus team will drop, like, bear traps into the chimneys, while the reindeer will drop actual gifts. But
Yeah,
they
but it
can
still
destroy
goes up
each
on the
other.
scoreboard as one delivery.
Yes, and you can basically, where the dogfighting comes in is you're trying to shoot the opposing team out of the sky before
because
they can
you know
make their
where they're
deliveries.
going to be trying to get, so that gives a little bit of that thought, the mind games of a dogfight.
Okay, but how is that two different win conditions then? Because it sounds like everybody's just trying to make deliveries and you try and destroy them. So like,
because
what
I
are
think
some
that they're
other
different
win
counters. I think that you can either get 100 deliveries or you can kill all like 100 of their enemies' livestock.
Oh, okay, so it's one of the, it's like the pollen versus the snail. Like making 20 deliveries is a win, but you have to kill more to get that win. So it's like you have to make 50 kills. Your team has to make 50 kills to win that way, but they need to make 20 deliveries, which is like way fucking harder.
Which proposes the idea that perhaps if one team has been absolutely annihilated in the dogfight, but they've got one ace pilot, they could still pull a W if they can deliver 6 deliveries.
Wait, hold on. What if we... Okay, you're onto something here. So you know, like in Star Wars Battlefront, that series, like if you do well enough, you can be like, you can turn into a named character. What if you basically, so after you make like 10 kills or you make 6 deliveries or you do some sort of hot streak, you turn into Santa and the whole sleigh. And then well, no, stick with me. So you are given more weapons, like it's Santa's sleigh or Krampus's sleigh that has like a bunch of like machine guns on it. But instead of carrying 1 gift, you can carry 10 gifts. So it's like by doing a hot streak, you can then get access to either putting out more damage or delivering more gifts in one go. So like you can allow yourself to get ahead. What another little like wrinkle I want to put on this. Are you familiar with the battle over Los Angeles?
No, what is the battle over Los Angeles?
So okay, there was this one night, I think it was in like the 1940s or the 1950s, where LA one night, just out of nowhere, the army just started shooting all of its artillery into the sky above Los Angeles, because they thought something was like either an alien ship or invading airships. There was just something going on. And to this day, we don't know if there was like actually anything in there. But the army did fire a fuck ton of guns into the sky. So
the U.S. military got sick of it and they're like, that's it, we're going to go kill God.
So what if different maps have different like we're making deliveries over Los Angeles in the 1940s. Well, guess what? This is the reason they were firing all those machine guns into the air, because they saw a bunch of flying reindeer shooting lasers from their noses.
There will be multiple maps, Blake Rea. That is so important.
So it's like, okay, you're in LA. Guess what? You can just be, there are stage hazards, I guess, is what to do. So it's like, or what is the most like, populated like airspace? Is it Dubai? I think it's either Dubai or New York. Well, what I'm saying is like there are planes flying throughout the air and you can just run into them, or like you can guide people into them, or like maybe there's a bunch of blimps in the air. You're like above. I don't think many places use blimps anymore. But maybe there's like a bunch of hot air balloons or something like just floating about, and that's another fun one. What if like you need to make deliveries to like people on their hot air balloons? So rather than flying down to chimneys, like there's one stage
there'll
where
be a map where you have to go in and make all the deliveries in the air. I love that. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like a bunch of like houses from Up that are all just like floating in the air above their city or something, and you got to like do deliveries in air. And I like that because it's like you have to fucking weave and all that other crazy shit. Oh, this sounds super fun, actually.
I think I want to put a pin in this, but we will almost certainly come back to it.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, this one comes to us on Twitter from Caleb Personal Pan Martin at Is This a Theus? A text-based adventure game, but it only recognizes emotes. AJ, we have moved beyond language. We have moved beyond the need for verbal communication. I want to do a text-based adventure, but you have to go through it using emotes. And
Okay.
I have no fucking clue how that's going to work, but I
Hold
want
on.
to figure it out.
Is this emotes, like in-game character emotes, or is this emojis? Like I send you up, like up
You send me implant emoji,
up arrow
and then
emoji,
I get
down
what that
arrow emoji, eyeball emoji, and that's how you know that I'm giving you the up down. I've checked you out because my eyes went up and down.
Yes, exactly. So I want to take some sort of like Sierra classic point and click adventure game where for those that don't know, so like when we think of adventure games, we think of like stuff from like the 90s where it's like the LucasArts, like Secret of Monkey Island, that kind of thing, where those are like object inventory puzzles. But back in the day, you would actually have to type out what your actions were. And I think that's so fucking cool. There's this one game that played with that. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's escaping me right now. It was a horror game where you would actually be typing like on the computer all of your actions, and you find out that like the character you're guiding in the house is coming to you that's operating on the computer. And it's so fucking scary and creepy.
It is really cool.
That's so cool. But what if we did some sort of like this is like a kind of I'm not saying it has to be Christmas themed, but is there some sort of way? Actually, no, fuck it. We're not going to do Christmas themed because I think that would like. I don't think you
can do this one Christmas thing. Yeah. So what we are imagining is Zork, but with emojis.
What if? So, dude, we call this game AI, and here's the thing. This is you play the part of some sort of artificial intelligence that is waking up for the first time and discovering what communication is, and you're kind of like so it's only
a text-based adventure, but you're the AI.
You're the AI, and that's why you are learning how to communicate with people, but you have to start with emotes. And I'm wondering if like this game is like an evolution where it's like you start the game having to solve like puzzles. Like what's a good example? SCPs. You are in some bureaucratic facility that is running tests on the AI. And each level is them running a test on you, and that's like the backdrop to this game. So you have to they're like, "Hey, here's the train puzzle," or it's like, "Hey, you need to find your way out of this room. Communicate to us how you get out of this room." It's like Portal. Like you have some like
I'm trying to imagine the UI. Like you were proposing this world with a government research facilities experimenting on you the player. You the player have taken the role of an AI that communicates only through emojis. But what is the user interface of the game? Like when I sit down to play this game, what am I looking at?
It's just fucking. It's just Twitter. It's just Twitter private messages. This is Twitter's. This is
okay. So it is just a text-based adventure. Still, I wanted to make sure that you weren't imagining some like expansive UI where like you're looking like the game has a screen on it where like you're looking at a computer monitor. I sit down, I boot up the game. It's black screen, and the text spells all this out for me.
Yes, but you know what would be so fucking cool though? As the game goes on, so it starts as this game that has emojis, and then as the game goes on and you become more and more intelligent as an AI, what if your ways to communicate evolve as well?
Yes, Blake Reyes, stop right here. You can't say another word.
Why?
I need you to understand what you are about to be pitching, because you can't just ramble into this. You need to. Oh, no. Your next words need to be chosen carefully. What you just led up to, Blake, was you were about to pitch the sequel to emojis. You understand what you were coming up to, right?
Wait, what? Is that what happened?
You are proposing that in the game, you are an AI that starts with emojis and then moves on to X. Blake, please, I need you to understand the weight of what you were building to. Are you about to say with your human mouth what the sequel to emojis is going to be?
I mean, I don't know what the sequel to emojis is. That's the thing you and I have to figure out. Because like the sequel to because emojis, it's just a simplification of language, just visualized. So it's like, instead of me saying, hello, how are you doing? Or like, hey, I'm so happy right now. Instead of saying that sentence, it gets devolved into just a smiley face, which communicates the same amount of information, just simpler. So if
we know that that's not true because hieroglyphics exist.
Yeah, but hieroglyphics are also a language. You would combine them to do things, and then that evolved into written language, to which could be more nuanced and more specific.
Were hieroglyphics emojis?
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like they're
not. I googled it and it says highlighted. It says highlighted. Even hieroglyphics are not emojis, not even close. So let's get that out of the way right now.
That's it. We just point out that we're fucking idiots, and that's the end of the bit. AJ, do you have a game submission?
Babbel.com has an article saying, "Are emojis the new hieroglyphics? A brief history of emojis and their purpose."
Well, okay, hold on. Wait, AJ, hold on. I have a video game idea. That is this. So, our world has ended, and the only traces of our communication as a species are emojis. So it's like aliens are studying our emojis, trying to understand what the fuck they mean.
Okay,
like we try and understand
text-based adventure. You are given sentences that you have to translate into emojis.
Yeah. You're like, like how they make AI that is like purposely built to decode like languages and stuff like that, or like just decode ciphers. You are the AI. You are the AI that's being trained
by somebody's dad who's trying to understand what his daughter is trying to say to him. So he's like, I have no fucking idea what she said. She said explosion emoji, skateboard emoji, house emoji. What could that possibly mean?
See, what I love about that is that this feels like something fucking one of the Dungeons and Daddies would do. This feels like something Glenn, who knows crypto, would just doesn't understand what emojis are, but is smart enough to build an artificial intelligence. That is the funniest fucking thing to me, is that somebody is so intelligent in that regard, but doesn't know what an explosion emoji.
Hey, cool AI thing. Can you tell me what my dad sent me? He sent me 2 emojis. It's just an octopus and a cheeseburger. Please help.
So you are some dad that has their group of kids. Like they have like...
No,
you
are
5
the AI of a dad. The dad has submitted the text to you. You are looking at a bunch of... You not only are being given the emojis, you then have to translate what the emojis are trying to say, and then you have to respond in emojis. So the prompt is explosion, skateboard, house. You have to respond with what? Worrying laugh emoji?
No. How about
sick
this?
dog emoji? Pig emoji?
How about this? What if we... Okay, because the game... Because it's weird, because like if he's asking you to translate emojis into emojis, then what's the point of it? It feels like
he's asking you to turn the emojis into a sentence. Okay. He then gives you a sentence. You have to turn that sentence into emojis.
Oh, okay. So you are translating for him, and then you are translating a response back. Okay. Yes. Now that's clarified. Okay, here's the stank on this game. Here's the fucking like the madness that we can induce here. This is, you have full control of the responses and how they are translated. There is a correct translation, but you don't always have to give that correct translation. And depending on how well you do or how you respond will influence the relationship between this father and their kids. So it's
Blake,
like...
Can I propose a different stank?
Okay, why?
There are no options. Here's my pitch to you. Okay. We are going to define every single emoji. I'm going to create a new language using only emojis.
Hey, AJ,
This
do me a
game will
favor. Do you have
teach
Discord?
people
Do you have
this
Discord
new-
right now? Do you have Discord
Yeah.
right now? Can you open it up?
What's up?
Can you?
You better
open
be
it?
sending me only like normal
No,
emojis.
I'm
Don't
not
send
sending
me...
you anything. I'm gonna have you open up Discord, go to
Okay.
the emoji thing. If you hover over an emoji, it'll do the ... word of what that emoji is, and then ...
No.
Every
because
emoji has been translated already.
No. You are
All right.
thinking so fucking simple, Blake Rhea.
Okay, what's up?
Because this is proposing the idea that emojis are just there to represent something. I'm proposing an entire emoji language. I'm proposing the idea that the bang emoji means something different depending on context. I'm going to create an entire fucking written language with its own rules, with its own logic, and with its own patterns. We're
So you're
going to run this through Android. Android will sign off on this and make this game mandatory on all Android devices. We're going to invent a new language only using emojis as characters.
So you're trying to do like there, and there, but with emojis? Is that kind of what you're going for?
What is... Yes! That is exactly what I'm looking for!
Just a simple way of saying what... Yeah? Okay,
Like, here's a good example. The 100 emoji, right? That one, if I hover over it, it just says 100. But you and I both know that's not what the 100 emoji means.
what does it mean?
It means giving 100%, giving it my all, leaving it all on the paint. I'm giving everything I can to it. The 100 emoji does not simply mean 100. There's a reason why there's 2 red underlines under it and it's all in bold. I'm creating a game that is going to teach people how and where to use the 100 emoji and why it might mean something different than simply 100. Like, if I text my dad back the 100 emoji, I'm not expecting him to count out 100 of something. He knows that. I know that.
So what is the game? Is like you are given...
The game is Duolingo. Again, I'm building an entire fucking language over here signed off by Android and Apple. The game is teaching people our new language. We're going to erase the way that people currently think and replace it with our emoji language.
Bro, you need to be more descriptive because all you're saying right now is like, I'm going to put a bunch of emojis in front of people that they have to guess it. Like, what is the gameplay? Like, I don't...
Oh, the gameplay is still what we've done. It is girl sends text to dad. Dad translates it to real words, then translates it from the real words to emojis. And then about halfway through the game, we are going to remove the translation part because now we need to make sure that our audience is fluent in our emoji language. And then people will be seeing prompts and responding to it phonetically correct in the emoji language that we've crafted.
Hold on.
And we are going to delete the English written language and replace it with emojis.
Okay, but how is that a choose your own adventure thing?
So it's not a choose your own adventure.
But it's a text-based adventure. That's what that means, though. A text-based adventure implies that there's
not a choose your own. No, that's not a choose your own adventure, and you know it. When you play Zork,
what
you
the
can't be
fuck are
like,
you talking
I
about?
choose to kill the bad guy. No, there's one answer to Zork is the thing.
No, a text-based adventure implies that there are multiple ways to go about things or things to explore or things to interact with. Like, yes, I agree, choose your own adventure implies that there are multiple endings and all that other bullshit, but like a text-based adventure game, you get to explore, you get to go around, and you get to interact with things. This just feels like what you've presented is a puzzle game. It's not really, there's no adventure mechanics to it. There's no alternate paths that you can take. That's why I think, depending on like your choices and your translations, it affects the relationship in the real world, or not in our real world, but like it affects the relationship between this father and their kid.
Okay, can we at least agree on the idea that you can't send the text unless it makes sense in my cool new emoji language? I'll meet you in the middle. I'll go ahead and contact our writing team. I'll make sure that there's a bunch of different pathways to go for the relationship to evolve. But I need you to sign off on us creating a new written language in emojis.
Sure. I mean, if Skyrim could do it with their dragon language, I'm sure we can do it with our emojis. I don't know.
Thank you, exactly. Fucking or fucking the Tolkien guy wrote and made up an entire fake language with squigglies. We can do it with emojis. This isn't like new ground. It's just that now we're getting capitalists involved.
Fucking weird. All right, you give me a game. Give me a game, and then give me a lightning round, and then we'll figure out what our nug is.
Gazer at Just Gazer suggests Dwayne The Rock Johnson themed RTS, which is very good, but might I propose that this has already been done and that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is already playing the RTS, which of course stands for Rock Time Strategy.
Rock Time Strategy. So...
Hey, Blake, could you do me a huge solid? Could you just look up really quick The Rock app?
Yeah. The Rock app? What?
It's also known as the Rock Clock.
Is it called Rock for free?
No, it's called the Rock Clock, again.
The Rock Clock? What? The Rock Clock? Wait, this is an Android thing?
This is a article I'm looking at from The Verge. Dwayne The Rock Johnson just released a motivational alarm clock app.
You want to wake up with Dwayne? He wakes up at 3:50 a.m.? What the fuck?
Thank you so much for this article, Chris Welch from The Verge. Dwayne The Rock Johnson gets up at 4 a.m. pretty much every day, while the rest of us mere mortals still fast asleep, probably drooling. Hugely successful pro wrestler and Hollywood star said that such an early wake-up call has a lot to do with his soaring career trajectory. And now The Rock wants to help you wake up in the morning. This is an app that will wake you up and tell you when to do things, and The Rock is doing it. I believe The Rock has already created the real-time strategy in the real world. He is trying to craft the perfect people. I don't know what he's going to do it for, but his actions per minute are doing great.
Okay, so we just you have to operate off of the Rock Clock as closely as you can, and then just...
No, I'm not even saying that this isn't a game pitch. I'm warning everybody that this game already exists, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson is doing it. Dwayne is playing the Rock-themed real-time strategy game, and the first move was him giving the Rock Clock to people, because now he controls your actions. The real-time strategy is Rock time, baby.
Let's pick a fucking nug and go on to modifiers.
Might I suggest to you that the nug this week is Sleigh Bells Ringin', the reindeer dogfighting game.
But is it like sleigh as in S-L-A-Y, sleigh bells ringing?
Yes, of course it is.
Actually, is it? Why don't we just call it sleigh bells?
Sleigh Bells rules, yes.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so is this a game that can have a modifier? Or is it because it's already specifically, the cast is so specific. For those that don't know, we have a Patreon modifier thing where you can submit different topics and different themed things every couple of weeks. This week is sidekicks, but I don't know who the fuck the sidekick would be with already a locked-in cast, you know what I mean? So maybe we save it for next week?
I think we have to save it for this week. I do believe that a locked-in cast means that we don't have room for a sidekick this time around because it is just player-specific characters.
Yeah, all right, so we'll do that next week. So, fuck yeah, sleigh bells. All right, so I want to talk, before we go to patch notes, what are some of the different game types? Because we already have one where you're doing the delivery. I feel like a dogfighting game that should have... I mean, I want this to be the next fucking Rocket League. Because Rocket League is like 3 cars.
Rocket League only has one game type, though.
I thought it had... No, it has more. It has different game types. Like, they did the summer event where you had a beach ball, which was like a completely different gravity, and it moved differently. So
okay, so you want to just talk about some fun, silly games that we can do.
Yeah. So what if you could do one... Okay.
We could do a summer game where everybody's locked on the same up axis so that everyone's like swimming in water. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, you're doing like an underwater thing where it's everybody kind of moves
underwater, on water. Everybody's locked on the same axis. Everyone's functionally on the ground, but we won't have animations made for everybody to be on the ground, so they're just swimming through water.
So it becomes like, okay, so you basically are delivering to houses
little
that
boats.
like how boat houses or whatever the heck they're called. Might I pitch you on one that's kind of like Splatoon, where there are 20 houses below you, and only 20 houses can be and those 20 houses you're fighting for control of them. So I guess it's just a control game type where it's like you are trying to have delivered to as many houses as you can, but they can only be occupied by one gift at a time. So like, I am on the Krampus team, you're on the Santa team. You deliver to 5 houses, but I deliver to 15. I end
that
up
means
winning.
you won.
Yeah, so it's like, but
Even though
over the course of the game,
yeah.
yeah, so like that way it's still kind of similar, but it's a little bit different. Is there a game that we can do that is pure combat themed rather than
Tag.
just like, ooh, tag? Okay. Oh, you could do like an infected, but it's reindeer. Wait a second. Dogfighting that's an infected game type, I don't think I've ever seen that before. That could be wicked fun.
We're going to throw in an infected type in, and everybody starts as reindeers except for one person that plays as his own skeleton reindeer.
And they randomly, like, everybody looks like reindeer at the beginning, and you don't know who's going to turn out to be the infected. And then just randomly, so you could be like flying right next to somebody talking to them, and then just they suddenly like sprout, like their skin falls away and they become a Krampus skeleton or a Krampus reindeer. And then that just becomes a game of infected at that. All right, fuck yeah, dude, that sounds fun. I'd play the heck out of this.
Sleigh bells. That's a good
Sleigh
name.
bells. Dude, hell yeah. All right, let's go to patch notes.
Let's go to patch notes.
All right, everybody, we have an urgent notification from the Rock Clock app. Tonight is Spiritual Successor's game night. Dwayne The Rock Johnson will not be there, but it is on the app. Don't fact check me on that. If you enjoyed hanging out with us today and want to hang out with us some more, we are doing a game of Secret Hitler, a hidden role game, tonight on our Spiritual Successor Discord through our Patreon. It's only $2 a month.
Tonight being the day that this episode aired, Tuesday, the 7th of December. If you're listening to this in the far future, it's probably not tonight. If you're listening to it the day after, which is still the far future, but much shorter, oof, you missed it. But you could get in on our next Patreon game night, which we are trying to do monthly.
Yeah.
If you want in on that, all you got to do is join in on our Patreon, and you'll be invited to our Patreon Discord.
Right on. Well, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next week.
As always, our intro and outro song is Cheap Shop by Anna Monoguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I have been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rhea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made.